Divorced man, here are 9 reasons why women will do anything to marry you. Let's say you're a man who has been divorced, and your breakup was a rough one. I'm never getting married again, you say with certainty. You start to realize that the women you're meeting aren't interested in that as time goes on. When you tell them all the reasons why they don't need to get married, they pretty much say, check, please. Or, they hear you and continue to date you, but they keep bringing up the subject. Are you sure you won't marry again? What if you fall in love with someone? That's what happened to one of my friends. He has been going out with women who, like him, are divorced and don't want more children. He asked me, why do these women care so much about getting married? I learned that marriage is bad. Why didn't they also learn from that? Is it because they want to get a hold of a guy and drink him dry? Do they want a man just to get money? That didn't make sense because his last marriage had left him with no money. If the women didn't want him to have babies or make money, why did they insist on marriage as a long-term goal? Here, I'll give you 9 reasons why divorced women might want to get married again. 1. We can stop learning things that don't matter. Women can spend a lot of time meeting when they are single. We like the man we meet. We find out what drives him. Each man's what makes you tick is different, so she has to put in a lot of time and effort to figure out what he likes. Does the guy I'm dating like his veggies a little bit mushy, or did the last guy I dated like his that way? After a breakup, all the time and effort you put into learning what makes him tick seems like a waste. If I were married, I wouldn't have to learn all over again how I like my veggies. When we get married, we don't have to start from scratch over and over again to figure out how a new person works. 2. Being married makes us happy. Some women who didn't choose to get split may have been happier when they were married than they are now that they are single. When I was married, coming home was what made me happy. I couldn't wait to get home. I liked keeping little pieces of information in my head all day and thinking, I can't wait to tell him about this and hear what he thinks about it. I'd think, I can't wait to get home and find out what happened with him today. I liked hearing about what was going on in your life while we cooked and ate together. I miss being able to come home to someone. 3. The depth of field increases. In marriage, we get to know each other better than just at first. I can't get away with telling the same old stories I used to tell guys when we were just getting to know each other. To make my husband laugh, I have to come up with new stories. Marriage helps me think of new ideas. I want to spend a long time with this one person, seeing how he changes and how I change through his eyes. I want to learn everything there is to know about this one person. I want to know what he looks like in every light and every season. A camera is like a marriage. 4. Marriage makes ghosts less scary. When we get married, we're saying, this is not a relationship we can quickly end if we're not happy. We might still throw it out. Alright. But if problems come up, we'll try a little harder before kicking it to the curb. Because it won't be as easy to kick a marriage to the curb as a long-term romance. When things go wrong on a date, the 2 people can just ghost each other. Maybe women just want to get married because husbands rarely leave them. 5. Marriage is a way to honor someone. I can't think of a higher praise than to be asked to marry someone. A man who had been divorced gave that praise to someone else. It could have been a woman he thought was good enough to be the mother of his children. I don't agree that marriage is only for people who want to have kids. When a man says, I'll work harder on this relationship for us, not just for the kids, that's a good thing. When I'm 60, my boyfriend can say, this is my girlfriend, Lee. Or my husband can say, this is my wife, Lee. When he introduces me. When Lee is presented as my wife, it's a big compliment that tells everyone she's worth the ring action. I know that men are afraid of marriage after being hurt by it. It takes a lot to get them to get over their fear and try it with me. It's nice that you're willing to help. I am afraid, too. I've been divorced, so I know that marriage brings pain, but I will work so hard to make it work. When I say I'm ready to get married, I'm telling a man, you're worth the pain and work it will take to stay married to you. We want the kind of care that comes with a marriage. My random group of friends cares about me, but if you've been married and then not married, you know that being married is a different kind of caring. Marriage means taking care of each other every day. When I was married, my husband asked me every day, "How was today?" He cared what I said. Caring for each other in old age is an important part of marriage. I want to go to the doctor's office with my husband because that's part of my job as his wife, and I want that job. When I'm sick, maybe he'll make me laugh or read to me. I felt cared for in an indescribable way when I was married, and I'd like to feel that way again. It's not that guys in long-term relationships don't care, but it doesn't feel the same. 7. We want to be first. Even though my friends love me, it makes sense that their wives, kids, and other family members come first in their lives. When we're married, we put each other first. When my husband is in a car crash, I want to be the first person he calls. 8. We're brave. Due to the high number of second marriages that end in divorce, 2 divorced people who decide to get married could be rare and unique. The second man I marry will be right for me because he will share my goal of never getting a second divorce. Even if that means he has to be kind, thoughtful, and caring for the next 50 years of his life. He, like me, will refuse to give up when things get hard. After our divorces, we did our homework and learned what we needed to do differently to make sure our next relationship was good. If we start to feel like we're losing love, we'll figure out how to get it back. On our deathbeds, we can say to those who didn't believe in us, "Screw you." We pulled off the best trick ever, a second marriage that made everyone happy. 9. We don't want to be alone during storms. I was hiking the Appalachian Trail one day with a pack on my back. Thunder sounded out of nowhere, lightning flashed all around me, and hail hit me hard. I got into a ball at the base of the tree and let my backpack take the hit. The sky went from blue to green in an instant. The thunder didn't bother to stop between claps anymore. Lightning no longer came in single bolts, instead, the air was always lit up. The branches above me seemed to protect me from the hail, but then the wind tore them off their trunks and threw them at me like blades. The winds got stronger and blew in all directions, pulling my backpack back and forth. My fingers were stuck in the bark of the tree, but the wind lifted my feet off the ground until my whole body was hanging in the air. I existed. Of course. It turned out that I was on the edge of a place where tornadoes hit. Scary as hell. Since then, it bothers me to be alone in my house during a storm. Marriage isn't just about being together physically. Marriage is my husband making sure I'm alright. Making sure I didn't get stuck on a tree branch. I'm making sure I'm still living after a storm. In short, I've given you 9 reasons why a woman who has been separated might want to marry again. Okay, those are my reasons, but maybe they are the same for other divorced women. Most of these reasons are about how you feel, which is something you can only feel when you're married. You can feel some of the same things in a long-term relationship or when you live with someone you love. But I think you can only feel some of those things in a marriage. Did you notice that because she can't wait to rake you over the coals wasn't one of the reasons? I hope you'll give a woman who has been divorced a chance the next time she says she wants to get married again. She might not be looking for what she will eat next. She might not be trying to steal your money. Be inspired by the woman who hasn't given up on marriage, who isn't afraid to try again, who hasn't let herself become sour, and who still thinks you are worth the trouble of marriage.